for me, and I would just loop with the Ableton device. But there was a gig I did for, I think it was the Newmarket Jazz Festival, and it was like 2017 or 18, and it was a disaster. The tracks weren't triggering right, and it took forever to set up sound. The programmer was so pissed, and there were just people there waiting. Like, we were on stage. It was horrible.
Where was that? I know Newmarket very well. I lived in Newmarket.
I think it was Newmarket.
Is it the Tannery, the train station?
I don't even remember where it was. I played that a couple times, but the last time was that time, and it really didn't go well.
Run.
Did not. You know where to run. Like, you're on stage. Yeah. It's fucking up. Okay. It was really one of the low points.
So that's another question. That's another thing that people don't realize with, musicians. When you're seeing a show, most of the time you're seeing something that's polished, that's been done for a long time, but you had to put it on stage first somewhere.
Right.
So it's like, what's your process of that? So me, it's like, I want that, and it has to happen. It's like, I have to do a new song live, and I will probably completely forget the verse, but I have to go through those motions to get through it. Eventually I'll know this. Eventually.
Exactly. Yeah, well, with the loop machine, when it's a new song, when I haven't performed it and I've just like figured it out, practiced it at home, got it as best I can do it, but you never know what's going to happen when you got lights on stage and a different sound environment or whatever, and you you really are like, it's trial by fire. And if it's going bad, you try to make it the least amount of bad. And like sometimes, even with songs that I'm used to, you never know what can go wrong. There's certain tracks that don't trigger or whatever. And hopefully I can cover so that it's not super noticeable. But then, there's that, expanse of it's very noticeable, and then you get it down.
I think you need to go through that as a musician. You have to. Yeah. You have to.
It helps. And sometimes, sorry.
No.
But sometimes it does provide a moment for experimentation and improvisation to get out of the problem.
Scrambling.
Yeah, and sometimes it can be interesting.
Yeah.
I'll have to erase a track and then sing a line that wasn't supposed to be there, and then okay, maybe at least. So it can be fun in the terror.
There's a line that I always remember from David Bowie, and he said, it's probably just an interview he did. He was like, I have to be in the deep end all the time. Like, if I'm comfortable, my toes are touching the bottom, then it's too safe. Mm-hmm. He's like, if I'm on stage and I need to venture into the deep end, he's like, I have my safety net, it's there, but I'm gonna go over there. Yeah. And I feel like that every time I'm on stage, and I feel like, even though you might do the exact same set, you're trying to do other things too. Like, there's things you're sharpening up, you're trying. For sure. And you just got to throw it out there, and it's going to fall flat many times. Yep. But it's got to be done. It's part of the process. And
I agree. So the groups that I'm playing with now, whether it's Flintlock or with this looping guitar duo that I play with called Desert Chaos with Eric Saint Laurent, he wants minimal practice. We have to practice a little, but he doesn't want to practice a lot. And we're doing stuff for the first time on stage, and we're feeling each other out. And sometimes there's missteps. And also with Flintlock, it's like they're lean towards the improvisational and really just being in the moment. And it means you must listen, and it means that there is like maybe not as much polish, but then you get an energy and a certain thing that comes out of that. And if you are on the spot and you do have to scramble, it does provide for these nice moments that are you can't bottle it. Yeah. So you take the good with the bad, or whatever you want to call it.
We've never practiced. Bad Meat bands never practice. We had we've never had a practice as a whole band. Like, I've had a couple of the guys together.
Yeah, but there's something I think good about that.
Yeah, there's something good, and then there's also if we were gonna go, hey, you're gonna go on tour with somebody. It's like,
Right.
let's go practice for
Right.
like a month. Let's
Right.
get this fucking tight.
Yeah.
If we're going to be paid and like,
Right.
you know, per diem and fucking hotel and all this shit, let's practice. Yes.
Yeah.
But it's like, there's a fine line there, but they're so good, these guys, that I know that it's never going to be a problem.
Yeah.
You know?
They're professionals.
And it's just like, yeah, and if the hat falls, it's like the audience really doesn't know.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I fuck up a line, I'll look at one of these guys and they'll do a fill, and it's like they have no idea that I've missed something.
Right. It is always worse. Like it's
Yeah.
also in my mind if
Yeah.
there's an error, but like no, and nobody.
Well, I worked with the rapper for a long time as a buddy of mine, and he was so, and most of the rappers do that. They have the backing tracks, right, to the double ups. But if you miss them, it's a train wreck.
Yeah.
It's like, or if you miss you're on the wrong verse or whatever, it's like it's blatant that it's a fuck up.
Right.
But
Right.
if you're just doing it a cappella with no backing tracks. If sometimes I've switched my verses. I've like started with the second verse and I'm already in it, and I was like, can't stop it. So I'm like, I'll just do the first verse and the second.
Right. Yeah.
Verse.
I've done that too.
So I've missed that too. But it's like if you have the backing tracks, you're fucked.
Yeah.
You're stuck.
Well,
So-
I actually, funny you say that, because on a gig, with the loop machine, with this loop duo, I pre-programmed I usually do most of it all live, but
Yeah.
for the sake of cohesion, I pre-programmed a couple parts on this one song.
Yeah.
And then when I asked for the starting note, for whatever reason, I asked for it started complete wrong key. And when it's just me and I'm a cappella by myself, that's okay. I can acclimatize to me. But
Yeah.
when there's an instrument playing a certain note that enters and is like, oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's actually so cringy hilarious when I listened back that it's like
You just have to
prize.
roll
It's
with
almost a
it.
prize.
Just
Like,
roll with it.
wow.
Yeah,
we did. We
yeah.
did. There was an audience. We figured it out. But yeah, it's never. It's good to keeps you being humble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think this has happened to you, but you never know. But I've had people yell at me.
I don't think I've had people yell at me, but I have had people that think what I did was weird.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Like, what? That was weird.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Matthew and I have had some funny moments with people at
With
certain
people?
venues. Yeah.
I'm trying to think if I've had some weird. No, I haven't
had
had
good-
heckling,
this
but
one
just
you'll
people
like.
think it's weird.
We were at Simcoe Jazz Blues Bar.
Okay.
Real dive in the schwa. And we went there, and it was, one of those places that was great back in the day. Like, it probably was rocking back in the day. But there's like 8 people there, and they're all probably regulars.
Mm-hmm.
And they're all bitching amongst each other. They have all squabbles amongst each other. You know, when people are listening to your song, but they're such regulars that they're just doing their own thing.
Mm-hmm.
And this one lady, she was just not feeling it, and she's at the bar. And I did my set, and she starts yelling at me, like, play this, play that. And I'm like, this is welcome to original music night here at Simcoe Blues Jazz and Bar. So I'm nearing the end, and she's heckling me, she's yelling at me, and I'm doing my best to ignore her, and I kind of got through it. And then Matthew plays his set, and she's just going on to play Neil Young, play that shit. And he's funny.
Man.
He's like, I'm going to play a number one hit. My number one hit. And then he starts into it. And then, so we're both of us, and I'm behind her, and I'm like, don't fucking engage with her. And I was just like, don't. And he was like about to say something. I was like, just don't. And then, so the guy comes to us. We have another set, and he's like, do you mind if we just like scrap the third set? And we're like, no problem. Like,
God.
we made, $40, and we were like, we were going to the Druthers Mansion after that. So we were like, fuck this. We have our night to stay. Let's just finish up. Matthew, finish your set, and we're out of here. So then she's at the bar. She just, like if Oshawa was a person.
Aww.
She's like, there's a banner. It's like, she's like, Simcoe Jazz and Blues Bar. where's the jazz in your music? Like stares and is angry with
You gotta bring a sense of humor to that. I mean, the thing about the music that we do is it's not mainstream, and it's out there. Some of the stuff is out there, so I can understand.
No, I do understand
people
what
that
you're
don't
saying.
get it, but you gotta be respectful,
But
lady.
I was like,
come on, you're here. Leave if you don't like it.
I was like, he just played an hour of jazz piano in front of you, and then I said, the songs where I had the jazz elements, you were talking over. So
Where's the jazz?
it was so awesome. That's like our phrase we say all the time now, and only him and I know it because like he'll be sound checking. I'll just like, where's the jazz in your music? And people look at us like, what the fuck?
That's good.
So yeah, it was funny.
Did you record it? Because it'd be great to take that as her voice as a sample.
I think I have.
You just make it a sample.
Because I used to bring all 3 of these cameras, and I think I have it off on the side camera.
Please
somewhere.
do that.
But it's so good that I think I'm going to reenact it into a sketch, like a real audio.
Can I play the lady?
Oh yeah! Oh, absolutely! Yeah.
Please.
Yes.
Crotchety old lady.
Oh
yes.
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 Yes. No, and it's gonna be like a real bar setting, ambient noise sound. Yeah.
Where's the jazz?
Yeah, we got it. We got it. Where's that jazz? It was that. I've had that, and the other one was East London.
Where's East London?
What was it?
What's East London?
East Side Bar and Grill in London.
London, Ontario?
Yeah.
East Side Bar and Grill. Okay.
And there's this really big dude. And I was playing with, I had a guitar player and a singer with me, or saxophone player with me. And he's just like, 2 songs into it, he's like, gets up, I didn't come here to listen to goddamn Eminem. And he's leaving, and I was like, thank you for the compliments, sir. Thank you for your $5. Have a nice night. And then there's a window on the side of me, and he's really big. He must have been like 400 pounds. Lifts his shirt up and puts it on the glass. And I'm like, another satisfied customer, folks. Look at how
God.
He's glowing, folks. He's just loving my tunes.
Wow.
So it's like at first like things would kind of bug me, but now it's just like a go with it.
Well, there is this.
It's like working out a heckler, you know. You just like,
for sure,
you know.
And I think there is something to be said for if it provokes a response, whether it's good or it's bad, that is valuable over something that's just like tepid and bland and no one gives a shit.
Yes, exactly. You know? Those are called Montreal artists. I mean, Montreal fans. This is my impression of a Montreal fan. The song ends. No response. No applause. No nothing. No.
Maybe it's all happening inside.
Not everybody from Montreal. I love Montreal. I love each that town.
I actually never played Montreal, and I lived there when I went to school.
So that was my first taste of getting outside of Toronto.
Where'd you play?
I played at Barfly.
Where's that?
It's Saint Laurent, and it's a real dive place. Hole in the wall, but people still use it, and because it's a great location too. And it's one of those places that developing's happening all around it, and this little thing's just still hanging in there. And everybody in Montreal knows Barfly. But that was 2017. So I would have went back to the start of going into the States a lot sooner, but I got hired by the Buffalo Sabres one game to go do a game in Buffalo. But the guy who called me said, just when they say something to you at the border, just make up some crap. So, and I was like, okay, well, what? So I contacted the Sabres, and I was like, well, what happens if I get questioned at the border? Can I call you? He's like, yeah, you can call us and we'll verify it that you're working, right? So I get to the border, and I couldn't sleep the night before. All night I was like restless. So something, my conscience was telling me something. So I get there and I'm look like a bag of shit. I took the Greyhound and I'm half asleep and the guy's like, what are you here for? And the word work came out. And I was like, as soon as it came out, I'm like, you dummy. So they took me in the back room and and I called the Sabres and they didn't answer. So I called for like 3 hours. So they probably saw where the phone call was coming from. And then the guy wouldn't let me through. And
that whole story is really shitty.
Yeah, it was really shitty. And I fucking was pissed. And lucky my uncle lived in Fort Erie, so he came pick me up and I went over to him.
That's crazy. Why aren't these like established businesses providing their employees?
Because a lot of big companies they don't play by the rules. Only, and that's what I was pissed about. Like, you're a fucking NHL team and this is the way you treat people. And that's the freelance world. It's like, take it or leave it, And so I called them and I fucking ripped them. I'm like, I went off, right?
Yeah.
And
do they pay for your travel or anything?
Yeah, they pay for everything. Those gigs, you're really taking care of financially.
But also the time that you wasted.
Well, that too, but the thing is, at first I said I was apprehensive because I said I just borders I don't want to deal with, and he's like, they pay me double of the regular rate in American, so it's like going for one game was like a week's worth of pay. So I was like, okay, I'll just do it. I'll come home, and then basically they paid me. No, sorry. I called them and I bitched them out, and I got a phone call from the VP of the Buffalo Sabres broadcasting, apologizing, but her excuse was terrorism. She's like, we have to keep the border secure. It's because I'm like, it's 2011. Nothing's fucking happening at the Fort Erie border. So I was just some bullshit excuse for them not paying, I don't know, $80 for a green card for me to come over to do a right. And I was like, then I wrote an email. I'm like, this is horseshit. You're a fucking amateur. I went off. So anyways, they paid me. But so the long story short about it, I was like, I was very scared to go back to the States because they fingerprinted me and digitally.
Yeah. Oh.
So I was like, in my mind, but it didn't go through because I didn't do anything.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it was just like putting the scare tactic on me, and that stuck with me for a bit. And I was very apprehensive. Like, I should have just went back to Buffalo and started doing shows in the States. So then 3 years later, I realized that I had to get out of Toronto. So I started going to Montreal. Montreal's the first place, and then Ottawa, and then I've started picking off little places in between Ottawa and Toronto. And then right before the lockdown, so fast forward 2019, I was just like, fuck this shit. It's all in my head. I'm going to go to Buffalo. So I had the car, and I was just like, I was going to make up any bullshit story. So I go up, and he's like, what are you here for? I'm like, I'm meeting some girl I met online. And he goes, okay, do you know what she looks like? And I'm like, no, I met her online. And he goes, I don't even know if she's real. And he's like, good luck. And he's like, what? He's
That's
like,
great.
He's like, what do you do? He's like, I said, I shoot professional sports. He's like, do you have any cameras in your car? I'm like, nope. He's like, all right, good luck. And I was like, that's it? I was like, what the fuck? Like, I held this fear in my head for 5 years that I missed out on 5 years of going to New York and Detroit and all these fucking places I could have been going. But maybe I wasn't ready for it yet. So,
Right.
After Montreal, the floodgates opened. So then 2019, I did the Buffalo show in September 2019. And then after that, I really started getting places in the States. So January 2020, I went to Portland and Seattle.
Oh, cool.
So I did like I did 3 shows out there. And then the last day I was there was the first recorded case. And when I came home, a month later, everything just went. And then, so I'd met people in Montreal from the States, this duo, and we were both, so the first week of March, I had all these shows, and then I was coming home here, and then I was going back to Ottawa for a show, and they were going to be there the next night. So they were going to watch my show, and I was going to watch their show. And then we had all these fucking plans. Like I was gonna accompany them in the States, and they were gonna take care of the gigs in the States, and I would ride along, and then I would take care of the gigs in Canada, and they would ride along. And we had plans for France and Italy and all this shit, and then instantly just goodbye. So recently in July, I got back to New Hampshire. I did my first gig in the States 4 years, so that was such a huge accomplishment this year, and I want to just go back and chip away.
Yeah, me too.
But
it's time.
Yeah. It's
time to chip.
Yeah.
Can I check that time?
Yeah, I think. How are you doing for time?
I have a phone call to take.
Yeah,
well.
I think we've been going for an hour and a half.
That's great. Yeah, it is. I mean, I would keep talking if I didn't have to talk to someone else.
I think all the batteries are dying too, and I'm kind of fading.
Yeah. So. No, this is fun.
Yeah.
I like talking. I'm a talker.
Yeah, me too. So you got, so this is going to come out tonight.
Okay.
What have you got on the shelf for shows?
What we got? I have some corporate holiday stuff. It's holiday time, so still playing. We've got Flintlock plays regularly at my house in the Junction. It's this jazz quintet, so we're playing December 7th. We might also be playing on December 28th. I just have to check. And then some holiday stuff. It's rather quiet. It's not too busy. Flintlock's going to be playing at the Jazz Bistro, which, I'm excited about that. It's a Tuesday night, January 14th. I'm excited about that. And then I play also with Eric Saint Laurent with my looping duo, Desert Chaos. So we're playing at the Emmett Ray, but I don't know the dates yet. It might be some Tuesdays in December.
Oh, interesting.
Might be the first few Tuesdays.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we might be there. I'm waiting for confirmation. The early slide.
Day too?
I think so.
That's awesome.
Okay, great.
Double
bill.
Yeah, we're doing 9:30.
I hope we got. Yeah. Okay, that would be
sick.
really good. I'm waiting to hear back. It's either that or possibly a.
I like them, man. They're great.
Yeah, they are great.
And they've been cool. They've been open-minded. They're like, we usually don't do stuff like your style, but you got some jazz elements.
Definitely.
And
Andrew's
definitely,
very cool.
Yeah, they're cool with. I've had places where like, no, we're jazz.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, I appreciate the open-mindedness. That's if it wasn't for open-minded bookers, I wouldn't have nearly as many gigs as I do.
Well, like I was telling someone was asking me about this. When I took the turn to looping, it opened a lot of doors, but it closed some doors because some bookers that knew I was me as a jazz singer didn't see me that way anymore and just thought, oh, well, you're doing something else now. And it just goes back to what we were speaking about earlier with like the experimenting and the always like your creative, your artistic soul or whatever, searching what kind of person are you in one laneway? No. And I do think that in Canada, markets are not open-minded the way they are in other places. You can be a few different things. You can be a loop artist. You can be a jazz singer. You can sing funk. You can.
This is
be
a whole
rocker.
other conversation.
You know,
that's another.
It's really
podcast.
unfortunate because Canada has a lot of great talent and outputs a lot of great talent, but there is something to be said for the fact that they're just like the expectation.
There's a lot of cognitive dissonance with certain styles of music.
Cognitive dissonance.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's a great name.
Yeah.
That's a great name for a
band.
band.
There we go.
Cognitive dissonance.
Yeah. Because I didn't pronounce it properly.
I like it.
No, I feel that's what I had to get around with hip hop and rap, and the word rap really hurt. Like people cringe up when they hear the word rap. And when I started booking, it's like, the two rap places are over there.
Right.
There's the one with the bottle service, and there's the shitty place over there. So I reworded it, and I wrote, this is Vocus from Toronto, a vocalist, and then you determine what the genre is. Here's my links, and then after I did that, it was like, oh, we love to have you. This is cool. This is interesting. They didn't see it as rap.
Yeah.
So I was like, you decide what the genre is. I'm not going to tell you. You just, and then like exactly what you said before, we're like, oh, we're too small for a band, or we're a bigger venue. So now what I do is in my description, it's just like vocalist. Focus is a solo artist that plays with a 5-piece band and sometimes, filler. So it's like, here's option A, B, C. whatever your venue wants or has, provides, I can do.
Yeah.
I can adapt. And you're the same. It's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah. So that, and just developing, hopefully working on some new actually came up with a new tune that I haven't it takes me forever to write stuff, and I finally have a tune, and I actually notated it.
oh, nice.
I was very proud of myself, but it needs lyrics.
Yeah.
Lyric writing is so hard for me.
I have books and books of lyrics.
Yes, maybe I'll take some of those lyrics.
And I would like to honestly write and just hand it off, and like you do what you want with it. And I have lots of PDFs.
That's a cool idea.
Files, yeah. And Dr. Keys kind of got me out of my shell, because it's been a long time since I've recorded something. It was 2020 at completion. So I was on the Love Bombs on Level Up, and that was the first time I've recorded vocals since AM Grinding, since like 4 years.
Good.
So it was good to blow that out with him.
Yeah.
And then I think I work faster when I'm on somebody else's stuff.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
So
like
too.
when they're waiting for me to do something, I'm like, I got it here.
Yeah.
And then he saw how that was the first time somebody really, like another artist, could see how I do the process. Because I spit out a freestyle, and he's like, that's great. And I'm like, no, let me take it home, massage it a bit, and they'll come back with something a little refined, right? And then so we did that, and King liked it, and I like it. It's a different approach for me. It's like a different style too, which I really like too. It's something different.
Nice.
Yeah.
I enjoy, like I said earlier, I like being a side person, and I enjoy being tasked. Here's what we want you to do. you know, you get your shit together and bring it. Because then it's not so like hard to peg down. I really like that.
Yeah.
And then it really helps me focus. I am someone who's not focused. You're focused, I'm not focused. That's our duo.
Actually, I got the name from my buddy who I used to do all the hip hop we were in North Bay, and he's like, man, you think of everything and you're just focused. He's like, that's it. Got it.
Yeah.
And then it just happened to be I became a camera operator after that.
Yeah. Well, and now it lines up for me that we've had this discussion. You talked about your regimen. You are focused.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice to meet you. Thanks. Good times.
Nice to meet you, Jenna. All right. 1:40.
That was great.
Yeah, just fun.
I would keep talking. I just have to go home for this call.
Yeah, I got to do some business. But
I
thanks for
didn't
coming.
know it was going to be on camera. Oh, man. I could have looked a heck of a lot better. But, okay, I'm not.
I could.
I have, like, layers on.
I could clean up, too. We're Canadian.
Try to make me look good.
So we're Canadian. It's all right.
Okay.
All right. Thanks
Yeah,
for
I'm
coming
excited
by.
to listen.
Yeah.
All
I'm going
right.
to post it tonight.
That's cool. I hope you do play that slot. I hope I do have that slot and you play the other one.
Good night, folks.
Good night. Doo-boop. Doo-doop.